We are back with more My Southern Home, and I'm here with Jessica Stavros, the Executive Director of Liberty Hall, a historic site. And thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome. We're really happy to be a part of this.
So I love historic homes, and this home has so much history. Tell us about it.
Well, construction began in 1796, so it's really going back into the 18th century, built by John and Margaretta Brown. John Brown, of course, is the man that really helped make Kentucky a state. So it's not only a center where we talk about history education and historic preservation, but it's also about civic action. John Brown was important on national, state, and local levels. So that's really something that we try to share with all who come through here.
So when did this residence stop being a home for the Brown family?
Good question. It was actually lived in by their direct descendants until 1937, when the last living Brown family member donated it to become a public museum. So we've been open to the public for 86 years now, and really an anchor to the Frankfort community, especially because we sit on 5 acres of public grounds. So we have formal gardens on the banks of the Kentucky River in the back. And so not only does the community come to see the 2 historic homes on the property, but they really spend most of their time in the natural environment in the gardens in the back, which is an honor for us.
Well, I love it when a property is historic and really used by the community.
Yes. So again, in the garden, we try to tell a more comprehensive story. This piece of land has seen a lot, and the history of Kentucky is not just in the stories of the family that lived in this house or the several families that lived on the property, but it's also in the land. So we try to talk about everything from the crossing point on the Kentucky River for the Cherokee and the Shawnee and the other indigenous tribes here, but we also talk about the colonial agrarian history in the garden of the enslaved African Americans who worked it, and the generations of women who have cared for this property since and really made it accessible to the public. So there's a lot of different perspectives for the same block, and that really means a lot to each new generation of Kentuckians.
Well, it's so beautiful that you take the time to talk about everyone that lived here, not just the owners.
Correct. And that's the thing about our community. We are here for them. This house, these houses, and these grounds, it really belongs to the people. So if we're not relevant to them, there's no reason for them to come in. But by planting native grasses or native plants, we support our local habitat by having community partnerships to get people into the property, even if it's just turning on sprinklers on a hot day, we're happy to do it.
The Kentucky Heritage Council has really helped you in keeping true to the history of the home.
Absolutely. Preservation is extremely important, especially in Kentucky when we have homes as old as this. The Heritage Council and Liberty Hall really work together on anything that upgrades or improves the property but maintains the historical integrity of the house and the grounds, whether it's working on the fence or getting new plaster. The historic tax credit program is a huge one for us, and we really just see an incredible return on the investment that we put into the property. And we don't like deferred maintenance, so we are constantly upgrading things that fail after 227 years. So we couldn't do it without them.
Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Oh, you're welcome. I've enjoyed it having you. Thanks for coming to Liberty Hall.
We'll be back with more of My Southern Home in just a moment.